Hmm. I thought I'd be finished eating by now. Anyways, where my son bits at? Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships. It's your boy M3. You have to excuse me real quick. I was so tired, I just woke up, so I had to eat my dinner for a minute. There we go. But tonight's topic is titled "The Sad Reality of Paying High." The sad reality of high-paying jobs that nobody wants anymore. Now, I don't know why I'm so my color is a little different. Let me see something. Let me fix something. The coloring is a little off. Let me see if there's a way that I could fix that problem. So give me about a quick second. Let me see. Color factor. Let's see if that has anything to do with it. Nope. All right. Let's try this one. Nope. That has nothing to do with that. Oh, well. I got to do something about this color stuff. Let me see. Anyways. It's all good, I guess. See, no light around. All right. So anyways, let's go ahead and focus on the topic, okay? I'm going to get some music going on for you guys. And for ones who's watching, definitely please get the likes up, share the videos to your friends and family, because that will definitely be helpful. Make sure you guys get the word out. So let me see. Let's try. We'll try. Nope, not this one. Okay, so we'll play this one real quick. So in the meantime, while we're doing that, I'll turn this down just a little bit. Let me go ahead and pull the article up because it's definitely important, like, to check out this article. So give me a second. I'm gonna pull this article, and then we're gonna get started. Okay. Okay, copy. All right, hopefully I can transfer this to my computer. All right, so we're gonna do a screen share. We're gonna go over 15 high-paying jobs that no one works. I mean, that no one wants. Okay. And here's the thing, right? I know we complain about, not having enough jobs to provide, the lack of work that's able, or the lack of work that's on the table. But there's a lot, of hidden gems that's out there, and I'm talking about jobs that's gonna pay you, some that's gonna pay you over six figures. I know everybody want to make six figures, but are you willing to give up that time to earn six figures? Are you willing to go through the mud for that? And not a lot of people are ready to do that. So let's go ahead and. All right, cool. So let's do a screen share. All right, here we go. And keep in mind, I will definitely, go back if needed. But anyways, here's the title: 15 high-paying jobs Nobody wants to work anymore. Let me see who else is in the building. Okay, so we got three people in the building on the YouTube side, and then we got one person on the Twitch side. So shout out to the ones who are still watching. Let me see who else is live. Let me see. Okay, shout outs to okay, his name didn't appear yet. There we go. Shout outs to the Intellectual SoapBox. It says the family is here. Well, much appreciated, Mr. Intellectual SoapBox. Okay. Oh, okay, so okay, now the numbers has increased. Shout outs to Marion. Thank you, family, for tuning in. All right, we got 6 people on the YouTube side, 1 person on the Twitch side. All right. Let me see who else is on. No one's on the Facebook side, but that's okay. We will be getting started in just a minute. I want to make sure I give everybody a chance to tune in because, you know, what's the point of going through all this and nobody else is watching it? All right. And then we have 7 likes. Okay. And we also have Alonzo Hall. Salute to Alonzo Hall, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so the numbers has increased. So now it's time for me to fully get started. All right. Man says, welcome everyone. Share this video with the youth in the community. Get involved and get paid. Not even just with the youth. Share it to like whoever else that doesn't have a job but still complains that there's no jobs that's out there. And then also too, please help us to subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships on YouTube. Help us to reach over 2,000 subscribers. Okay. Share this live stream to your friends and family on social media. That's the only way how you're gonna put the word out there, you know? And also family too. If you guys wish to come along and help, and well, not just help, but if you want to have a discussion about this, y'all are more than welcome to. Just let us know, and we'll definitely send a StreamYard link in the chat. All right, let's go ahead and get started since we have enough people. All right, so 15 high-paying jobs. Nobody wants to work anymore. Okay, and let's go ahead and scroll through. Oh, matter of fact, can I turn this into? Let me see if I could make it short so that way I could. Oh, nope. Hold on for a second. I messed up, guys. Hold on. All right. Oh, let me. Okay. I was trying to minimize it so that way I'll be able to. Let me see if I can do this again. If I minimize it, is it going to cut? Okay, that's what I'll do. Hold on, let me stretch out. Come on. All right, I think we're good. Okay. So shout outs to Simon Hector as well. Thank you for tuning in. And then 100 watch from the Twitch gang size. It says, bet, let me know so I could grab me one. Most definitely. 100 watts. If you care to come up, I will definitely send a StreamYard link your way. So you know what? Let me go ahead and then I'm going to send a StreamYard link to the Twitch gang side, you know? And all the folks on the YouTube, just let me know when you guys want to come up too. All right, so anyways, we go ahead and get started. Okay, so 15 high-paying jobs nobody wants anymore. So some jobs still. Oh, and let me get my glasses on too, you know? Oh, we got 100 watts in the building. What's up, 100 watts?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
What's happening? What it is? I go by the name of 100 watts, and I love those who love me. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. And I'm glad that you came up too, because I wanted to dissect these 15 high-paying jobs, right? That most, I won't say most, I'm not going to say some, most can definitely earn you up to 6 figures, okay, a year. But the problem is you got to go through all these hurdles before anybody could, like, you know, well, that's the down part. You're going through these hurdles, and nobody doesn't really want to work. But I'm not going to, go too deep into it. I'm going to go with the listings, and then you and I could have a discussion about it.
Okay. Before you go forward, I
Mm-hmm.
just want to say,
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's a lot. I do think it's funny that a lot of people are looking for 6-figure jobs,
Yeah.
but they're not even making 30 at their current job. Just saying. But I'm here for the show.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, it's steps, man. It's levels. Everybody wants 6 figures, but to be honest with you, nobody really wants to work to make 6 figures. It's kind of like, how should I say this? I mean, you may have a difference of opinion to it, but I feel like the universe is kind of given to those who really, in the heart, who really wants to kind of level up and not just to talk about it. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense, because a lot of people have this idea that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. But no, there's plenty of bad people that have a lot of good things that happen in their life. And like you said, the only difference is they actually take the time to get their ass up and go get it.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'm glad what I'm saying is making sense so far. So, all right. Thanks for confirming it. And shout outs to Marcus for tuning in as well. Marcus, you want to come up? Feel free to. Just let us know, like, in the chat, and Mr. Intellectual SoapBox will definitely send you the link. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Where is it? All right, here we go. All right, so some jobs still have a difficult time attracting workers, even though they offer good pay. All right. So as we're going down here, it says since 2021, Americans have been quitting their jobs and moving on to new gigs as part of a great resignation. Okay. And then some workers change for better benefits, such as retirement plans, health insurance, or the ability to work from home. Others have been able to make more money by jumping into better paying positions. Okay. But there are still some high paying jobs that workers would rather skip. Fallen are the positions that typically pay more, but still don't have many takers. All right. The first one in the job. Okay. I don't know why most people be shitting on these type of people, but a lot of people be shitting on like truck drivers, like it's a bad thing to like work as a truck driver. But anyways, they said the U.S. is facing a truck driver shortage, even though the pay in this job can top $100,000 a year. The hourly rate or yearly salary may appear to potential workers, but the long hours, and time away from home can be major factors in keeping potential new workers off the road. All right. So let's start from here with the truck driving part. Okay. What is your thoughts about truck drivers?
So my thoughts about truck drivers, for one, my understanding, if there's a truck driver that's out that can speak to this, I don't want to disrespect them. Mm-hmm. But my understanding of truck driving, in order to be able to touch 100,000 or more, you're probably gonna have to be an owner operator to be able to see that kind of money. So the kind of money you get as just a employed truck driver, I could understand why you quit there. Like, it probably just ain't enough for the amount of time you spend away from your family, being on the road, the amount of hours you got to spend up and alert and driving and all that other kind of shit. I can see why people get away from that. And I think that people think bad of truck drivers really only for like perception. You know what I'm saying? Because for a long time, like, especially people in the black community, like there weren't a lot of black truck drivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know a lot of truck drivers growing up. Most of the truck drivers that I could think of were heavy set white guys with ugly, scruffy, dry beards and shit like that. That's probably why people think of it crazy, but it's not a bad gig, bro. Like I said, like, some people only making 30,000. If you can double your fucking income by driving a truck, you better stop playing and humble yourself. Get your ass in one of these trucks.
Absolutely, especially if you don't have like no kids or a wife. I mean, I feel like that will be honestly that would be a good starter job just to like dab into. And also,
But
shout out.
even instead of
Okay,
my fault, my fault.
no, go
No,
ahead,
but
Ross.
I don't think it should be limited to somebody that doesn't have a wife and kids, because how many people are married and broke? You up under your wife all day, but you're broke.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah, that's
there are
true.
plenty of like is come on, man. Like, and I think that's a problem too. Like, some people are so wrapped up in their relationship, they're not willing to make that sacrifice to say, okay, my husband's on the road for 2 weeks out of the month, but the amount of money that he brings into the house, now I have the opportunity to not have to work. I could be a stay-at-home mom. You know what I'm saying? But because you feel a way about your man's being out on the road for 2 weeks and he might be fucking other hoes, now you're gonna limit the amount of money your household can bring in. Like, that's goofy.
Yeah, that's something good to talk about that to dissect too because a lot of there's always been some kind of problems when it comes to a man on his purpose, but yet when that purpose takes away from family, right? Because that does happen too, Watts. When you're working at these type of companies and then you don't have the time, well, enough time to spend time like with your wife or kids, then there's always like an issue. And then I'm not saying it always falls on the woman or whatever. I mean, sometimes it go the other way around, but the most that you hear on social media that people complain is that, well, he didn't give enough time for me, so I had to do what I had to do, and mess with somebody else. I needed attention from another guy, and you know, uh, some people, even folks like, let's say, like the military, right? Because I know you've been like in the military as well.
Mm-hmm.
It also takes time away if you have families as well. But you have to do what you have to do, and you have to sacrifice. Salutes to Mr. Intellectual SoapBox in the building. What up, my brother?
What's going on? Salute 100 watts. What up,
Hmm.
baby? 757 in the building. You know how we do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Salute to the hometown. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Salute to one of my hometowns. I got a lot of hometowns, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Salute to New York, Oakland, everywhere, man. San Jose, everywhere, man. Y'all know what it is. North Carolina, everywhere. But yeah, listen, I'll make it real quick. Look, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, man. All right. If you ain't got no kids, you gotta be out here getting the chicken. All right. You women, listen, y'all look. Either y'all want us to get it or y'all don't. All right. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. If I have a way to get money and I'm good at it, and I'm not home, I'm not home. Like, I'm not home. Go chill with your friends, your family members, whatever. And when I come home, I come home. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all. You know what I mean? Back in the days when you have to worry about all that bullshit, man. You know what I mean? Men, stop getting to the point where y'all are so worried about what women are gonna think about the career you choose. Not about them. Do what you gotta do. Now, if you got kids, it's different. If you got kids, it's way different. You got to take care of your kids. You got to be there. You got to guide them. It's different. I got to guide no goddamn woman. You're an adult. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to my chicken and I'm doing what I got to do. I'm going to fade to the back, man. I just had to say that.
No.
Whole...
Wait. Before you go,
Go ahead, Watch. Go ahead. God damn.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? Because how can I give this example and it makes sense? Because you're talking about, if you ain't got no kids, you ain't got no wife, just woo, do that. You know what I'm saying? Get it how you live.
No. If you got kids, it's different. You got kids.
No. If you don't have a wife or if you do not have a wife and you do not have kids, live your life. Do it. Live it up. Woo. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. I'm just thinking, and I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm thinking about in terms of somebody in a serious relationship, not necessarily married yet, don't necessarily have kids yet, but they're working towards like, all right, this might be it. We probably gonna lock it in. Isn't it at that phase where some of those decisions, and I'm just asking a question, but isn't it at that phase where some of those decisions like start getting played into effect in terms of how serious y'all gonna take the relationship? Like how much time you spend away from home working, what kind of job you have, how safe or dangerous the job may be. Like, don't those things play a part into building a serious relationship and a family and all that?
My thing is this, right? Like, those are conversations you gotta have beforehand. But like, if I'm out there getting it, like, if I ain't got no kids and I'm with you and I'm out there getting it, you gotta let me get it. Cause like once we get kids, everything gonna change. Like, Everything's gonna completely change when we have kids. But while we don't have no kids, you gotta let me go and get it. Like this is the time for me to grind. We ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? Because once the kids get into the factor, now we gotta consider everything. And then on top of that, what if the kid we have has health challenges, right? Because that's also a factor. People don't think about that type of stuff because that could happen. You know what I mean? What if they have a reading disability or whatever? You know what I'm saying? It's different challenges a kid can have, man. And people don't think about that. They just think, okay, we're gonna have a family and that's it. No, you got to factor in everything. What if your kid is brilliant and everything is great? That's still something you got to deal with because now your kid is advanced, so they may be moving along a lot quicker than other kids. So you got to gear up for that. You know what I mean? So it can be a lot of different things. But once you have a kid, everything changes, man. Because now you got to actually take care of that person. I don't have to take care of another actual, adult. They're functioning on their own. That's why they're an adult. I ain't got to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Now if you have an ailment or you get into an accident or something like that happening, then yeah, okay, I'll be there to take care of you. I'll stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna take care of you. But if it ain't no emergency situation, shit, you better go figure shit out. You know what I mean? Go hang out with your homegirls or whatever, or your sisters or your cousins or whoever, like, or your mama, whoever. Like, I'm not here for all that. Like, I'm going to get what I need to go get, and either you're gonna be with it or you're not. That's just what it is. And I mean, I have no qualms about that. Like when it comes to getting to what I need to get to, I'm gonna get to what I need to get to, and they either with it or they ain't. That's it.
All right, hold on, real quick, everybody. I gotta give a salute to Cornell Jones. Thank you for tuning in on the Facebook side, and then he also have a powerful story about his uncle. But before I get to highlight your story, Cornell, right? I also got to give a shout out to Alonzo Hall because Alonzo Hall is in the building. And I also want to give him a chance to reply as well. Alonzo Hall, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. I'm multitasking. I'm watching the football game as we speak. But I actually work. It's funny because I'm probably, as a financial professional, an absolute business expert because I have to work with people in all fields, right? Working with truckers, some 100 watts, that is very true. When you're cracking that 100K mark, generally you are going to be either an owner or an owner operator. The dichotomy is this, because what a lot of people don't see specifically about when you're an owner operator, you're a one-man show. And so people who are looking at, the long hours, right? That's not just you being on the road for 17 hours a day. You also have to do things like the logistics and see, okay, can I get this freight from Florida to California in 3 days? How much is it going to cost me? Where's my next job? How many pit stops? Oh, by the way, I got to have X amount of dollars for food, like per diem. I also have to have X amount of dollars for what happens along the way, right? Like I blow a tire, whatever. One last thing is that $100,000 in today's economy really isn't anything when you take into factor the things that the problem is that most people haven't held $100,000 in their hand at one time. So it seems like a lot of money, right? But as a member of the 100,000 plus annual salary club, I was better off making 50 grand, right? Because there's things like taxes. So if you got 100 grand, your taxes already bring you down to 67 grand. So somebody who makes 50 grand is going to get taxed at half that rate. The other portion is, again, things like your retirement and all those other factors. So that's why when you're looking at self-employment like trucking, a lot of people probably aren't going to it.
Right, well, sir, if I could just respond to some of what I heard you say, because you said 100,000 isn't a lot of money, and I understand what you're saying, why you're saying that, right? But you being the financial, the well-informed financial man that you are, would it be safe to say that you figured out a way to be able to maneuver the amount that you pay in taxes? I don't want to make it sound ugly, but you can maneuver how much you pay in taxes just based on your knowledge of finances and stuff, correct?
I can, but here's the problem. A lot of people maneuver their finances to be okay on taxes, right? But however, the problem is, and ironically enough, and I see what Carnell is saying, I generally don't mention this, but I sleep with the feds, literally, okay? I have a family member who I sleep with, who obviously is my wife, who is part of the IRS, right? So a lot of these things that people think are as loopholes, for example, I'll give you one. A lot of people's accountants will say, you can write off your clothes, which is an absolute lie. Now, you can write off up to 50% of your clothing, right? But for example, I wear suit and ties for business. I cannot write those off as a business expense because I could go to the club or church in these clothes. Unless it's an absolute uniform, right? Like if it says Bob's Trucking on it, then you can write it off. But other than that, no. That's just one very common maneuver that I see even CPAs say that's absolutely untrue in the eyes of the IRNS. You see what I'm saying? But yes, you can maneuver some ways to lower your tax burden. That's very plausible.
Okay.
The only reason I was bringing it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. I do have to give read Cornell's comment, right? Because he is talking about like truck driving as well too. Let me read this and I'll get back to you, Watts, real quick, so I don't forget. Cornell started off by saying, my uncle started off working for someone else. He learned the game and bought his own truck. He just transports cars back and forth from the Bay to the Valley, Vallejo, and sometimes he'll go to Reno and Washington State. Now he is wealthy. And continue, he says, the only one in the family that listened to his advice about driving a truck was his son-in-law. It took him a while, but now because of the port, he started his own business and is balling now and has actually hired others to leverage their labor to make more money. Okay, that's true. In an earlier comment, but if you have good tax professionals, I think he's talking about to Alonzo, and accountants, then you can offset those costs. He also says it sucks if you want to buy a house and don't make enough. And that's all he has for now. Inya has a question, but Inya, I'm gonna Ine, I'm gonna get to your question in just a minute after Watts, okay? I still have in queue. Go ahead, Watts.
The only reason I was like just pushing a little bit against Alonzo because he was like, I'd be better off making 50,000. Like to somebody like to people who are making less than 50, because apparently 100,000 is now like the gold standard for people. Like I don't know why that number magically became the fucking standard, but there's a lot of people that don't even make 40. Like if I'm not mistaken, the national average income, especially for black households, if I'm not mistaken, is under 40,000. It's like 38 something.
It's like 42,000 at this point.
Okay, it's 42,000, right? So I mean, even with taxes on that, so if I'm making 42,000 a year, I get taxed. I'm probably seeing 35, 34 of that. So I'm already broke. Then taxes come in, I'm broke, even more broke. And then we were talking about 100,000. If you are smart enough to be able to make 100,000, you should be able to be smart enough to gather the information to learn how to keep that. And if you learn how to keep that by, like we were talking about, like clothes probably isn't a write-off, but you can probably write off a vehicle or a home or business office or something. There are other things that you can write off so you can get closer to keeping that 100,000. Because there's not much that I can write off.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
so one thing that you mentioned,
it's not much that I can do. It's not much that I can do to make that 50,000 more. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing I can do for that. But that 100,000, I can keep more of that if I learn the information I need to be able to keep that.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right, but let's not worry about the amount, right? It's really not the amount. It's the tax status and structure. So if you're a W-2 wage earner and you make 100,000, ain't no loopholes for you. Ain't no maneuvering because you're a W-2 wage earner, right? Now, if you're a business owner and you make 50,000, you still got a whole bunch of write-offs versus the guy who makes 100,000 as a W-2 wage earner. So we also have to look at the tax status of the individual. Does that make sense?
That I understand what you're saying. That makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm. Shout outs to Alonzo Hall for educating us like on the finance part because that's what you dab into like a lot as far as like the health insurance. I mean and anything else like as well too that relates to taxes and all that. So it's good to have someone in that profession to really like bring the rundown to it. Because taxes and all that stuff, you don't know about how to pay your taxes and how to make that money work, you're gonna get stuck and you're gonna probably lose a lot more as you could have saved. Shout outs to Grizzly Bear Productions. Thank you for tuning in. And then also shout outs to Simon with the crown. What's up, King? Simon, before I get to you, I have to read. And what's up, Alonzo? I'm glad that you can't up for a second. So, but anyways,
just had to salute you.
For sure. Okay, I gotta read. Ina's comment real quick. Well, question. So she's a question. So if you're out there getting it and you don't plan to have kids, then when does the out there getting it slow down a little bit? Like, do you discuss the goal beforehand and honor it when it's reached? I think somebody said out here getting it. I don't know if that was you, Watts, or if that was Intellectual SoapBox.
That was Intellectual SoapBox.
Okay. So he gonna have to come up and answer that question, Mr. Intellectual SoapBox. If you could come up and answer Ina's question for us, that would definitely be helpful if you can. If you're still here in the building somewhere. But yeah, but in my opinion, oh, there he is. Welcome back, brother.
What's up, y'all? What's up? You know what I mean? Simon, I see you, man. I see you the crowd, dying peace. See you, boy. Listen, so if you're out there getting it, you don't plan to have kids, what does out there getting it slow down a bit? Like, do you discuss the goal beforehand and honor it when reached? I mean, yeah, of course, you have those conversations, as basically are getting to know your partner and you guys want to move forward and do something serious. So you have to have those conversations. If you're not having those conversations, then guess what? You have expectations, right? And then you assume things. And then once you assume things with those expectations, you make an ass out of yourself. So in order for that not to happen, you discuss everything, okay? Do I want kids? Do I don't want kids? Where do I want to live? You know what I mean? How long do I want to work? What hours do I want to work? What days do I prefer to work? You know what I'm saying? Do you like ketchup or mustard? You discuss everything, okay? If you don't discuss it, then it's gonna go bad. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, because it only takes one thing. It only takes one thing for you not to agree upon, or for you not to have discussed, or they don't think this is right, or I didn't know you was gonna do this career, and this was gonna take so much of your time. It only takes one thing, and if you don't discuss those things that are major, especially when it comes to your career, finances, and kids, it's gonna go bad. Trust me, it never goes good. So yeah. That's the answer to the question.
All right, thank you, Mr. Intellectual SoapBox.
Yes, sir.
All right, hopefully that was helpful in here. And keep in mind, guys, we're gonna probably have to move on from the truck driving part after I get to Simon because we still have 14 more jobs that are high paying, but people don't want. All right, so Simon, thank you for tuning in. Share us about your thoughts. You're muted, bro.
Simon, you're muted.
All right, don't be on my case too much, man. I'm trying to be king tonight. I'm like, ooh. Why don't people want to do truck driver jobs? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, you hear that? Why do people not want to do truck driver jobs?
Well, that's that. Are you asking us, or are you?
Yeah.
Are you just, you're asking.
Yeah. Well,
you don't want to do.
Why don't they want to do truck driver jobs?
I mean, basically, like to kind of sum it down, a lot of people just don't want to work for like longer hours. It takes up too much time. Some feel like the money is not worth it, but and I wish Razik was up here because he's a truck driver too.
Might
But
come up.
yeah, if he does, like he'll definitely like break it down like from his perspective. But I actually have family members who started off in that same way, as Cornell had kind of mentioned. They start off like working for someone.
Right.
But here's the thing: the money was actually good. Not that the truck driver money was like that bad, and they also have families as well too. It's just that okay, as long as like you're willing, your wife is willing to allow you to do what you need to do to provide for the family, because you got to provide somehow. Everything will flow well as long as you're consistent. But it does go to advancing in your career, because you don't want to get stagnant and just work for a company and helping them to make the most money when you could just save the money to get your own truck. Once you get your own truck and you start becoming your own truck driver, that's when things starts to get better. You know what I mean?
But that's kind of hard. I mean, the thing is, like, being self-employed, which is what you're talking about, really, that's kind of different to someone paying you a check, month by month. So now you've got to do all that sort of shit. Can people deal with that, or are we just talking some bullshit? Because it's just like we all talk about entrepreneurs, and goddamn, like we got these women out here turning around. They got, the whole weave industry, OnlyFans, weave industries. They be playing us big time, and we're talking about how can we I just find it kind of interesting because we put in the most as black men, but at the same time it's, I don't know, I sort of roll up on my baby mother, and like it's just astounding every time. Like she has the smile on her face, it pisses me off. It's like she
Simon need a hug tonight, bro. Simon need him a hug.
I mean, you from across the pond?
He's from
that man said her smile pisses me off.
Listen. I'm telling you, like, that's what it is, because it's like they can get away with some sort of shit.
I get what you're.
You can't get away with that sort of stuff. You can't.
Okay, Simon. So I get what you're saying, right? Basically, okay, and this is a good topic for that, right? Now, not just with truck driver, but in general, right? What Simon is trying to say is that, like, while we're having this discussion, as men, talking about like, man, like let's dab into certain high-paying jobs that not a lot of people want to work anymore. He's saying, meanwhile, there's other avenues that's easier for women, like OnlyFans and some other accounts, and all they have to do is show their assets, which is called their bodies, and then you don't have to work hard. You can just pretty much make like $500,000 or $1 million, however you want to do it. But here's the thing, right? This is not something that I would try to say that, oh, well, man, this is going to be cringy or whatever, or, these women are spoiled. I look at it like, hey, where's the money coming from? It's not being endorsed by other women. You can't get mad at a woman who's living life lavishly by putting less effort into it. You have to look at the simps, the guys themselves who's cashing them out. These are the same guys, right? Are funding their lifestyle. And until men actually stop funding their lifestyle, and making it easy for them, then we can't really get mad at the woman if she's having life like on easy mode. And not all of them have it on easy mode. It's just the ones that society look at as gorgeous, beautiful, and is using their bodies to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I look at sex
Go ahead.
work like
Yeah.
I look at sex work like athletics, right? So
Mhm.
black men, you know, you as a kid, you spend all this time going to the gym, putting up these shots. You go to these AAU camps, and you trying to get into the league. And when you get in the league, you probably got a solid maybe 10 years if you make it to the NBA. If you one of the higher tier, not top tier, not LeBron James, but if you're one of the better players, you got maybe 10 years in the game. Same thing with OnlyFans. You're not about to do this shit for 30 years.
Mhm.
You about to do this for a solid 4 or 5 years. Then people gonna get tired of seeing it, and then you have to figure something else out. So I mean, it ain't if like M3 said, like if that's how she gonna get it. But understand that this window gonna close quickly, and I hope you making a transition. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about them choosing to go to that league, the repercussions that come behind it. Because at some point when you say, "All right, I'm done, I'm gonna retire," those videos still exist. You can't just go to Bank of America and be like, "All right, I want to get a real job now." Go to Bank of America and think they not gonna pull your shit and see you on OnlyFans and be like, "Yeah, cool, come on, slide over here." You know what I'm saying? Like if that's the route that she want to go, have fun, do your thing, shawty. Just know that what come with it after you done. So I ain't even mad at them because, like you said, if it's because there's always gonna be somebody out there that's willing to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
man,
if she gonna get that money, get it.
and that's what Quantum says. Hey, that's why you get the money while you still can. LL. And then partly cloudy salutes to you, my brother, right? He says, "What up, MT?" And also, I gotta give a shout out to Not Your Average Guy. So thanks for tuning in. Not Your Average Guy was a truck driver for 10 years, and he spent a lot of times away from his family as his kids was growing up. So imagine how rough it was, you know. But he had to do what he had to do. Okay, everybody, I won't have to break from the truck driving part because, man, we got to talk about number 2, man. Okay, so number 2 in this piece, right, is, and let me go ahead and scroll down, an oil rig worker. Okay, so oil rig workers help keep oil flowing to refineries. Managers in these jobs can make 6 figures, but it's a dirty job, especially when you start with long hours and good stretches of time away from home. Those factors may turn off some people despite the potentially high salary. Okay. Let me go ahead and skip down real quick to even the gastroenterologist. Experts are worried about a shortage of gastroenterologist. Am I saying this right? Hold on.
Gastroenterologist.
Enterologist. Man, I don't know why I can't pronounce words while I'm on the stream, but I pronounced it well before. But anyways,
Just call it that word. When you see it next time, just say that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say gastro.
Yeah, I'll say the gastro stuff. But although the position pays well, perhaps it lacks the glamour of being a pediatrician or a cardiologist. Okay. And not sure every guy says gastro dog. I got you. Okay. Now, I never had any thought to dab into any of these 2 jobs, especially the whole gastro job. As you can see, anything you can't pronounce, you can tell that you haven't really been having an interest to work there. But anybody had any type of experience working those type of fields?
Well, I work with a gastroenterologist because I have gastro problems physically. And my little brother actually works on an oil rig in Houston. So I can definitely speak to the oil rig worker. He has, and I need to get with Simon and get some of that puff. He has, it's very hectic. They make bank. Okay, my brother went from overnight. He was a adult entertainer for women in Houston.
Okay.
He was basically a Chippendale Santa. And he was like, "Oh, I'm making way more money on the oil fields. The problem is the oil field. Yeah, it is some serious physical work. My brother was a football player. I think he went to FAMU. So he's 6'5", 240 plus, right? So he's a muscular big guy.
Yeah.
But or maybe he's 6'3", I don't know. He's taller than me, that's all I know. And but so sometimes he has to leave my nephew, and he's working like 2-week shift. So he goes to work for 2 weeks at a time, and then he's off like a week or two in a row. But he averages a minimum of $1,000 a week. And the reason I know that, we sat down together, came up with a financial plan, and I told him to only spend like $200 a month. And he was like, "Nah, with those numbers, I want to spend $2,000 a month." And I was like, "You make that?" And then we went over those numbers, and I was like, "Okay." So you can definitely make big bank with the oil rig, but you're going to come home ache, pain, and smelling, according to my brother. And then with the gastro doctor, it's not glamorous, which is why I am having the problems I'm having. And I'm in Connecticut, where we have Yale, and I'm not finding, Yale doctors are better known for their pediatrics. But I'm having a difficulty finding a specialist here because I have a very rare gastro condition, which is why I'm in the hospital every 2 weeks.
Oh, damn. Well,
Yo, bro, it's just a different world. That's just what it is. I'm sorry to hear about that, to be fair. But it is really a different world.
All right.
I'm super curious as to why people are like. I wonder if there's some way we can find out like why people are not wanting to do these jobs. Because why you wouldn't want to do an oil rig job?
It's
like,
exactly what he just stated. It's like people are in precarious situations right now.
No. Like the gastro, I can kind of understand that. Like in terms of being a doctor, like if you spent all this time going to medical school and all this money you racked up, like I can see why somebody wants to be something glamorous, like an ER doctor or a cardiologist. Like I can see that, like that. All right,
people strive to be everything that they want to be, but the fact of the matter is when that time comes, it might not play to their game. I mean, that's just how it is. And most people just don't understand that sort of shit. It's a thing of, it's like, I could plan, go, look, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I'm being very vague right now. But my plans is not God. My plans don't work like that. God has you in your own place. Like the thing is, it's like, I know it sounds kind of stupid to some people. I'm just saying, like, the reason you don't acknowledge it is because you can't. Not right now. And that's fine. But you listen, if you've had a plan in your head and it didn't work out, you have to work that shit out. And me personally, I turn to God. I turn around and I go, look, I'm like, God, what's going on? What the hell is going on? Why ain't I doing this? Why ain't this working out? And God provides me with the answer most of the times. And that's why I'm still here. So it's just like, I had no real expectancy in my life of being here right now, even speaking to you guys, like just being on live or whatever, or doing whatever we're talking, whatever whoever's talking. I don't know what, but you have to take that into consideration. Like, why is it that you're feeling a certain type of way and it ain't working out? Like, because that's fine, that's cool, and you probably get on the phone and go, oh, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is you have a directive, and your directive is not your premise. Your premise is God, and you really need to check that shit.
Okay. All right. Well,
For real.
No, I just think like when I'm asking the question like why some of these people are wanting to leave their jobs, right? Like I could see why somebody wants to leave McDonald's. You're not getting paid enough to get cussed out at the register because somebody's fucking chicken sandwich came out with mayonnaise on it. Like I'm not getting paid enough for that. So I see why somebody would want to leave that job. But if you work in an oil rig job and you're working the kind of job to where you can probably move up relatively quickly, because oil rig sounds like one of those jobs where they hire internally or they promote internally, right? You're making an income that's higher than most people in the country. So it just something like that, it just starts just getting in my brain. Like, why is it that somebody would leave that? You know what I'm saying? Like this whole leaving your family thing, as much as I love my kids and everybody loves their kids and everybody wants to be with their wife, that shit is so fucking overrated, bro. Like the not being able to get over leaving your family, like move past that bullshit.
All right. So and the way you're
like, hold on, guys, hold on. Before we continue, I gotta give a warm shout outs to my good homie Cornell Jones. Thank you for tuning in, Cornell.
Hey, thank you guys. I
still wanted to speak to 100 watts.
Wait, hold on, Simon. I gotta get to Cornell, right? Because
hey, no, you know what, y'all can continue. I'm gonna listen, but I do have something to say. But I'm definitely gonna listen. I don't want to interrupt you guys. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So you still got as long as you got time, that's good. All right, go ahead, Simon. Finish your point real quick, and then I'm gonna get to Cornell.
Yeah, am I muted or?
No, go ahead.
So, it's not like look, I've been married. I was married for 10 years, right? So, I'm just trying to put this into perspective for black men. If you want to hook up with a chick that's in McDonald's, you're gonna have a real problem. In a sense that she's not going to understand what a relationship is. So what are you trying to hook up with, and what are you trying to establish, really? That's the whole thing. I got about 1:42 on the clock. All I try to do when I come out here, and anyone can say anything about me, I'm really trying to say, look, I've done that shit, okay? And I'm not you. But at the end of the day, I look like you. So what does that mean? What that means is you could potentially be in the same situation I am in. And I do not digress from that. Black men. Well, I ain't know it's 52. Black men have to understand themselves, really understand themselves, because they don't right now. Like, do not digest from yourself. If I have anything to say before my dying word is, tune into knowledge and relationships, because I do understand what they're going to do is give you a perspective. I'll take this crown off, and I'm going to leave it 5 seconds below.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Thank you very much. So
in terms of workaholics, I get that 100%. I'm speaking right now. I'm speaking in terms of the oil rig job. The example we were given was Alonzo that was talking about, if I'm not mistaken, he said it was his brother who would leave out the house for about 2 weeks and then comes home and he can chill for a whole week, maybe 2, before he has to go out of work. I understand. I get it. During those 2 weeks, you might miss your kid walking. You might miss the first words or whatever during that 2 weeks. But what about the other 2 weeks? Are you not going to be part of the memories while you are there? The reason, like my perspective on asking that question is with the understanding that there are many people, a lot of people, who are not seeing the kind of money that comes from a job like oil rigs, right? And me asking my questions is trying to understand and gather perspective, because I've never been in a position where I've been able to make the kind of money where these guys are. So their perspective is completely different from mine, right? So with the position I'm in, I have no choice but to put my fucking boots on and get to it. I have no choice, because the more time I spend at home trying to be around my kids, the more money I miss, because I'm in a position where I get paid based on my time. I'm not a business owner. I'm not making 100,000. I get paid hourly. So I have to go get it. So whether I want to or not, I'm going to have to miss those moments. So what I'm asking is for the people that are in the position where they're able financially to do more for their family, even though they're away, what makes you leave that to go to something where you might be around your family more, but you're able to do less? I just want to understand that perspective.
100 watts. Listen, it's really problematic. I could turn around to you and say, look,
20 seconds left.
We met over. Okay, we met over the internet. Okay, based on what you said, I could turn your life around in a second, right?
Can you do
whether you're gonna believe me or not is up to you. Whether you're gonna believe me or not.
All right, Simon. The time is up now, so we're gonna move on from this conversation. All right. Because I gotta get to Cornell. He's been waiting patiently, but I would definitely say this though, right? And Truth, what's up, man? Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Salutes to Pops. Thank you for tuning in as well too. And John Sinatra, goddamn, thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for tapping in. Everybody, please get the likes up. Share this video to your friends and family on social media, and get the word out there in all platforms. So bring them over to the YouTube side. So definitely. All right. Before I steer over to Cornell real quick. No matter what, it's like this. You could either work or you could be homeless. And I've seen people, especially more like in San Francisco, where I saw like a man who had 2 kids and a wife, a son and a daughter. And they was out in the streets, and he held a sign that was like, please help donate some money so my family and I could get back on our feet. And somewhere down the line, he said something about work. Now, 2 things came into my mind. Okay, there's jobs that's available that the guy could just easily work, even though maybe those are not high-paying jobs at the moment, that could find. However, I don't know what's his situation, his legal situation. Is he a United States citizen, and maybe it's hard for him to try to work? But the point is, we have opportunities, especially if we are United States citizens, to work at whatever job that we put our heart into it, our skills into it. We just need the training, and we have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get that. And by the way, anybody want to join the stream, please feel free to do so. But I'm going to just leave off like that because I got to get to Cornell. Cornell, thank you for waiting for us patiently. I want to let you go ahead and rock.
All right, guys. Thank you. You know, I'm glad I tuned in. I saw the stream on, I think it was on Facebook, and then I just tuned in and started listening. But, you know, hey, I'm going to start off right by saying I'm not married. So, of course, that's a whole different situation. If you're married and you got a big family and you're trying to work this thing out with, you know, working a job and still trying to find time to spend with your family. But as far as the job situations go, the truck driving job is a great option, like one of the dudes was saying, when you're starting off. And if that's something you want to pursue later on as a career, you can graduate to owning your own business and hiring other people, but that comes with its own problems too. But like ultimately, I mean, I've done a lot. I've worked in the airline industry, I've worked in education, and right now I'm in the real estate business. And things were good at the beginning of the year, but as everybody knows, inflation hit, interest rates hit, and I could have been discouraged. But one thing that I will say that's good about today is we in the information age, and all of us have information at our fingertips, right? So I'll give you an example. There's a company called Coursera. They do certificates you could do online. I mean, it takes about 3-4 weeks, and you could do IT, whatever. If you have that kind of, you know, attitude where you can sit down and take time to get these certificates and get jobs with Google and stuff like that, those things are available. So I think for us now, we got to kind of be in the mindset. Things are changing so fast with technology. We can't be married to certain industries forever. You know, get good at what you do, but at the same time, always be learning because things change so fast. I think people that are willing to do that and are flexible, I think it'll be a lot better for us in the future.
Hey, okay, I definitely like that. Shout outs to you, Cornell, man, for just come up and just breaking it down. You know. Yep. I think Simon got disconnected. Well, he'll be back. But yeah, okay. Let me start off like with the next one, okay? Let me bring this up real quick. All right, let me go ahead and
coronavirus.
Oh no, never.
And I want to say thank you guys for letting me in y'all space. I wasn't intending on saying anything, but I was listening. I was like, let me at least, you know, give a little something of what I know, but I don't know everything.
No, but hey, you provided with just like enough information. And here's the thing: we haven't really had like even like a black real estate a black person that's really heavily involved into like the real estate business. Which one of these times, Cornell, right? We definitely have to bring you up into a platform so we could, you know, have like a little interview, you know, about that. Because we want to definitely encourage, like, you know, our peoples, right, to try to get into any field as much as possible. Whatever your niche is, definitely work hard to try to get that. So
definitely, whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, for sure. So stick around while I go ahead with the next one. Okay, crab fisher. So crab fisher, while crabbing season may be short, it can also be quite rewarding during a good fishing season. Crab boat captains can make, okay, I didn't even know that, but over $200,000 a year, for example. However, crab fishers may face long hours in dangerous conditions and spend good stretches of time away from home on high seas. A bad season can mean grueling work for a mediocre reward. I like how they put in that $200,000, but then yet they want to call it a mediocre reward. I mean, how often do people even touch up $200,000 a year? Hell, we're struggling to even try to get to like the $100,000 mark. And then number 5 is.
But you notice,
yeah,
you notice it said 200. You notice it said 200,000 for the boat captain.
Captain, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Oh,
boat captains make 200. So that's why they said mediocre reward. So you can be a peon making a $20,000-$30,000 salary while your captain making 200, and this motherfucker sitting in a chair drinking coffee all day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but say he's
that's
sitting
bull.
inside. You falling off the side of the boat.
Yeah, I would quit that job too.
You know,
But I want to
but-
speak to that real quick in terms of, especially kind of like Simon was saying, specifically for black men, and especially in America in urban communities. We will risk life, limb, and lifetime imprisonment for less. I'll give you a prime example. YSL and Young Thug and Gunna and the other 20 some odd gentlemen. So 28 gentlemen got indicted with $1 million. When I did the math, that was $35,000 a head. Instead of being gangbanging drug dealers, they could have all got jobs at McDonald's or become crab fishers and made equal or more money. And if they wanted the thrill of the risk of almost losing their life, go be a crab fisher. You'll guaranteedly make XYZ amount of dollars. You'll probably have health insurance, so when you get shot or get injured, you can go to the doctor. You'll probably have some kind of a retirement account, so when the other dudes are younger and more virile to do the job, move you out of the way, you'll at least have a nest egg to sit back on. But I think, kind of like Carnell said, and the young lady in the chat, the Wi-Fi money is what's probably pulling a lot of folks away from most of these jobs.
Mm-hmm. That was Quantum Love who said that, and honestly, like she has a good point. I'm like, look, man, like Quantum, you gotta plug us in, like with some Wi-Fi jobs, and if you make that Wi-Fi money, come holler at me real quick.
Think about it. Why would you want to risk your life? Like a lot of these jobs that are in need of people, even though they're in good bread, they actually kind of dangerous jobs. And if you think about it, remember the pandemic? They were saying, "Oh, you're a hero and you're working in these essential jobs." Most of the people working essential jobs were on the front lines, risking their life, while everybody else was sitting at home making all this money. Some people, actually, I think about 25% of people that were working online, working 2 jobs, making 6 figures for each job, while people out here risking their life, and not even, it's not even worth it in the long run.
That's definitely like a good point. And I mean, besides like time, I mean, they keep edging like that time away from families though. But there's some jobs that you have to ask yourself: are you willing to take a risk? Are you willing to get that finger chopped off? For that job. Are you willing to be thrown overseas while the captain's just whistling Dixie? Those type of jobs. If you look at it, if it's not worth your life, then it's just not worth it. But at the same time, these are, I think, the reason why they came up with this list. I was going to say this at the end, but I think I'm just going to say this now. I think the reason why they came up with this list is basically they're just trying to show anybody that, look, you ain't got no excuse for complaining about there's no jobs that's out there where there's clearly like other high-paying jobs, minus like the crab fisher part if you're not a captain. There's jobs that's out there. It's just that basically it's just you have to be willing to like suck it up and deal with it if you want to work. That's how I feel like this is kind of headed towards. Like number 5, for instance, a urine farmer. Yes, urine farmer is an actual job. Urine farmers collect undiluted specimens from animals like deer, ants, just deer, okay, and sell the liquid gold to hunters who would like to use it during hunting season as a lure. Basically, like buy the deer semen, I guess, splash it on the ground somewhere, and whatever attracts like the larger animal, then go ahead. This job pays upward of $75,000 a year. But how many people are willing to do that? Okay, Now, maybe compared to being like a crab fisher, I mean, what is wrong with working as a urine farmer? So
I wonder how.
Alonzo was talking about going home smelling fucked up from an oil field. How you think you go home smelling like that? How you think that's gonna smell? What's your wife gonna think when you come in that house smelling like a big bag of piss? What? Like, come on, dog. That's crazy. The fact that that's even a job is already. The fact that that's a job is already mind blowing within itself to me. I'ma just collect urine from deers and sell it to hunters. Like, hey, let me get 2 bottles of that piss right there behind you. Like, what are we doing?
Man, that deer piss may have some good value, bro. You know?
You better get a deer call and call it a day, motherfucker.
And then Quanta says, "Listen, once people really wake up to a lot of these jobs will be open." Yeah. Listen, once people wake up to a lot of these jobs will be open. That's right.
Which I think is going to happen. This list that you got right here, this is going to reverse. All the Wi-Fi money that's out there, like people going to stop. It's a lot of people that's already, because the amount of people that had YouTube pages and all that during COVID, that shit has died quickly. Now that people going back to working on it's died quickly. So all this YouTube money people out here making, they gonna go back to work soon. They gonna take their ass right back to that fucking Ross that they was working at, the goddamn Chick-fil-A they was working. They gonna go back to work.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, let me scroll down real quick. And let's see. Okay, embalmer. So it takes some dedication to properly and respectfully treat a person who has died. Okay, embalmers have to deal and just to correct the pronunciation or whatever, right? We're not talking about YouTube, because I know sometimes y'all be taking things to left. We're talking about body fluids. We're not talking about that type of Anyway. Just in case if the algorithm gets screwed up. I'm just going to say, yeah. Anyways, to deal with their bodies or on a regular basis and handle potentially toxic embalming fluid. But for those who are willing to take on the task, can earn a good compensation, with some of the top of the pay scale earning around $80,000 a year. Hey, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to just skip number 6, because fuck yeah. I'm not about to put no fluid in no dead bodies, man. Unless if you guys want to do that, Cornell and Alonzo and Watts, we can talk about it. But for me, I'm good.
I like I said, in the field I work in, I work with people of just about every area. So I have a cousin who owns a funeral home in Brooklyn, and I think it's on Linden Ave. Anybody who in Brooklyn, but he has to do that stuff, and he makes way above 80 grand. I'll tell you that much. Like over 200 grand. Obviously, in the last couple of years, that's the reason why, because he's been having to stuff a lot of bodies. Because of pandemic issues. But, embalmers, it's a recession-proof industry, right? No matter if the economy is good, bad, or indifferent, people gonna die. And because people die, people will be emotional and spend $6,000 on a casket with pillows because you don't want Pop to go. You want him to rest comfortably, is what the embalmer or the funeral director. Don't you want your family to rest comfortably? Yes, buy the $6,000 casket. But the embalmer, believe it or not, he probably ain't got a lot to do. He probably just sit there, put his iTunes on, and just because it's an ugly thing. Like, they stuff the bodies with newspaper and all this other stuff. So when we see him at the funeral, is aesthetically pleasing, but you know, I can't see an embalmer being worse than a butcher, right? Because you got to cut up bodies.
Mm-hmm. True, and then there's certain parts that you have to kind of stitch up. Actually, you also have to like you know rip off like the clothes that they wore before, and you gotta kind of like dress them up appropriately. So I don't know if there's like a small team of embalmers that can help, but if it's just only one person, just kind of imagine you lift up a deceased body, put it on the table, especially if they're heavy set as well too. Um, yeah, it's a lot. It's a little bit of work into it, and you really have to have like tough skin on that. Okay.
Marion, I was thinking the same thing. Alonzo's family is the ultimate network. Like, I don't know what they got going on, but this man got the ultimate
network. The connection is real, man.
Everybody's supposed to do something where they can help each other out and be a team, and I think that's what we're missing in our community. Right? We don't work together.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, not your average guy sits rest comfortably when they have no senses to know the difference, and he says definitely a lucrative career. Excuse me.
I was sitting here thinking like, for 200, would I touch a dead body? Then he started talking about stuffing it with newspapers. Nah, I'm cool.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I mean, at least we know at that point why, like, that's kind of understandable why that's like a high demand, you know? Yeah, scary. Let's see.
But I think you got to go to school to like even learn how to do that, and I think that's where the issue lies, because the schooling and like the regulation and the licensure, because you can't I don't think they literally just stuff the bodies with newspaper. You know, there's probably some sort of specific something that they're supposed to stuff the body with. I would hope, right? But, you know, but like I'm sure like the corner cutting dirty guys are stuffing the bodies with newspaper, but I hope, you know, I didn't get that in depth in it with my cousin, but he did say you actually, there is like a mortician's school, just like there's a barber school, right? You can't just pick up some clippers and be like, yeah, I'm a barber, you know. So same thing. OG Patrice, what up?
Salutes. Oh, come on, Earhart. There we go. Shouts to the fam. I feel like it would be more harder to like add more. I feel like that's a lot of work adding more newspaper as opposed to adding the liquid to it or the solution, whatever that helps like to temporarily inflate the dead body, you know. But yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, man, if you have the stomach for that, man, you know that's a good job or a good gig for you to get into. And I know someone that actually had done that before he was what's he? I think he's a real estate license or something. Realtor. Anyways, though, I'm not gonna get too much into it. But K Man also posted a link: funeral service school, learn from home. Well, there you go. You know, you can always learn from home. You know, and get started. I mean, no matter what, every job you have to have like some type of training to it. Whether if you're going to school, that's still training, or you're going to like a trade school, or maybe the job trains you itself. So yeah. With that being said, let me go ahead to get to number 7. A Bonfire semen collector. Okay, who wants to collect some semen? All right, cattle production rallies in the insemination of cows in order to produce cows. One of the more efficient ways to do this through artificial insemination, but that requires collecting bovine semen to sell to cattle ranchers and other farmers. So wait. Like kind of okay. I'm thinking. I don't know why he's giving me like it's taking me back to KFC, man. That clone chicken, you know. Anyways, even under cows. It may be an odd job, very odd in my opinion, but the product collected is in demand, which will earn you a little extra cash to tune around $55,000. Hmm. All right. So, which one of you guys? Okay, hold on. So, Alonzo, do you know anybody that collects cow nuts?
I mean, I know some cows who collect nuts, but you know, they're a little different. Ironically enough, I don't quite know. That might be one industry I have to double check in the family for. But I don't know that that's one I don't think I could do. Like I couldn't go and like extract the cause you know what you gotta do to do that?
He trying to wrap his mind around it, bro. Like, just try to wrap your mind around it is fucking hilarious.
Right,
He's
right.
like,
Yeah, like
I'm just, but all the way cool on that one. I'd rather go stuff a dead body before I do that. Fuck that.
yeah.
Oh shoot, man! You know.
I'ma just move to number 8.
Yes. Let's get to number 8, man. You know, unless if Jergen Lotion, sponsor us in this particular topic, but yeah.
Petroleum jelly.
Number 8, hazardous material remover. Hazardous materials can be dangerous to handle, which is why many people are unwilling to take on the task. You'll also need training to understand proper techniques for handling different materials, as well as the safety measures necessary to work in that profession. Still, management positions can pay very well over 6 figures. Oh, okay. So another key point. Now, this time I was beating very well on this one. Management positions can pay very well over 6 figures. But if you're not in a management position, how much will they really pay you? So this is on the list for people who advances into the management position if you get hired to be a manager.
Now, again, I don't know shit about this kind of job, but just my lack of, my ignorance. This sounds like one of those, well benefited union type jobs. That's just what it sounded like to me. Like a hazardous material remover. Like it sounds like these dudes is probably well taken care of. I'm not gonna say well taken care of, but they're probably decently taken care of. Like I would think there has to be some kind of measures in place from the company to pay their guys, either pay them or give them certain benefits just in case like something does happen. Like I would think that these guys are pretty good taken care of, decently taken care of at least.
I would think so as well too, especially if dealing with needles and all that hazardous stuff.
Yeah, oftentimes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And this is another one. This sounds like another one of them jobs where you have to have a special type of training or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's another one of those hire from within. You can probably start that job and become a manager within 3 years, which is a faster pace than most of the jobs that you're gonna find in the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like 100 Watts said, I don't know exactly what they do. I know they do deal with hazmat, but I have clients who I work with who I don't know exactly what he does with hazmat, but I'm a hazmat handler and a country bumpkin dude. But he's hired, and generally those type of professions are municipality work or city job, right? And so anytime you get a city or a state job, you're pretty much taken care of, at least on the back end, except for the fact that a lot of these politicians have been draining the pension funds. But other than that, Yeah, I mean, I can't see that being that bad. Like, I do that rather than, number 7.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think that in terms of this being one of those jobs that people quit, just that hazardous material, those chemicals and stuff. Just be like, you know what? I'm tired of getting burnt. I'm done. I could see that. That makes perfect sense. Especially after COVID and everybody getting sick, man. Fuck this shit. I'm
Yeah,
done.
I could see that.
Yeah. Wait, just as a reminder, just for YouTube's sake, because YouTube don't like that word, the C word, so we have to say C19 or whatever. You know what I mean?
YouTube so
Pandemic.
sensitive.
But yeah, you could use. Oh, not your guy says you could also lose a limb or a lung. Well, damn.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, because depends. Like if you have to breathe into like that stuff as well too. So, like I said, it's a hazardous type of work. So I can see why people could be turned off. Cornell, what you think about number? What you think about number 8? Pull up back again.
I'll ask you guys for a second. Which one was that about the C19?
Oh, on YouTube, we can't say like the whole entire word because YouTube tends to try to censor everything. So we just use like C19 or jab or whatever. I was just letting people know.
I don't think it's as bad as it's probably not as bad nowadays as it was when it first happened. But we'll see this winter how everything goes. But I mean, if you trained right, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal.
Oh yeah. We were talking about like the hazardous material removers. So like, let's say like if you're trained in that profession, but if you're a manager, you make over 6 figures. But for the ones that don't make over 6 figures, like these are like still the type of jobs that you have to put up with. Dealing with needles, dealing with like things that you could breathe as hazardous, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, if you wear your PPE or personal protective equipment and you trained right, it's not. I mean, if you train right and you do things the right way, the chances of you getting hurt are kind of slim. But if you don't pay attention and you one of those people that don't train right, then you're in trouble. I used to have to deal with it in the airline industry. So, if you train right and you do things the right way, you good. But if you don't pay attention, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And then moving down to the list, okay, we also have number 9 and number 10. I don't know if did somebody come in? Oh, we got Queen in the building. Well, salute, Queen. What's up? What's happening?
Hello.
Okay. So just in case if you don't know the topic, Queen, we're talking about 15 high-paying jobs that nobody wants to work anymore. And we're actually at number 9, where we're at the veterinarian. Where, if I could pull this up real quick, not all veterinarian workers involves playing with puppies and kittens. Veterinarians often work long hours, and they may face additional hazards such as scratchy cats or dog bites. Okay, perhaps those factors are contributing to an ongoing shortage in that profession. I mean, whatever. Okay. I mean, grab some gloves, man, and try not to get bit, or try not to get scratched. But what you think about the veterinarian position, Queen?
I mean, I think it's cool. I have a great niece who's actually in high school, and she wants to be a vet. So she got a part-time job working at a veterinary hospital. And
is that my cousin Queen? No, I'm just messing with
you. She's training now with pursuing if she wants to do it. So yeah, she likes it. She says she got scratched a few times, but she's like, they're just scared animals. So I think she'll be good at it. Yeah. So I think it's cool. I think it's good that she has this opportunity in high school to figure out what it is that she wants to do, and actually has the opportunity to work at a vet hospital. So I think having programs like that would make kids more prone to take jobs where they don't, have a lot of schooling to do. But I was going to talk about the hazardous material. I had a family member who got out of the military, and he was doing that, and he loved it. He got rid of the material from the ships when they came in, and he would, take care of the ships and stuff. But I think he just liked telling people that, they were trying to get over, so he liked getting up in people's faces.
Right.
They nope, that ain't cool. You got this, But
Right. All right, that's what's up. Okay, the headlights technician. Okay, who wants to help pick out some lights? So headlights technician.
Who did that?
You know someone who did that?
Yeah, she was a hairdresser in the East Coast, and
no, that's my cousin. No, I'm just kidding.
They had a big epidemic with kids having headlights in the schools, and so she would there was a group that formed a little company, and they got contracted through the school districts, and they would go into schools and treat kids with headlights. She said she enjoyed it. She got paid well, and it was part-time.
Well, I got a nephew that be watching this Dr. Pimple Popper junk, and to this day, I can't see how somebody would like to sit there and watch stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure there's people out there that would love to get paid for picking lights out of people's heads.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Pimple Popper is interesting.
Me and my wife watched that show.
I love that show.
I cringe. I can't do it.
I can't either. I find it, we're on number 10. We're on job number 10 right now. And I find it super interesting that all the jobs are on this list, like how important they are just for people on a day-to-day basis. Yes, other than the goofy motherfucker that's collecting urine for deer hunters, like all these jobs are pretty much very important, like in terms of like day-to-day like life. Like we need oil to be able to drive our cars. Everybody, like a lot of people have dogs. You need veterinarians. People are gonna die. You need embalmers. Like all these jobs are crazy important.
Essential.
Essential. That's the word I was looking for. Essential. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but the only downplay to it is that most people climb. Well, they say climb to, maybe not up to, but they climb to $50,000, which it might not be a lot to some who's picking lights or whatever. But the point is, there's a job for someone, and the thing is, if you like doing that, then hey, this is why you're here on this earth, to help pick the lights right from our scalp. We need people like you, And shout outs to Late of the Fallout. Thank you for tuning in. It says why people don't do their jobs because they decide to do something else different, whatever that is. She also says plans never work out. God laughs at that. Have ideas, they work out better. And she says, hi, KNR. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. Everybody, please get the likes up. Share the video. Whether if you're on the Twitch side, the YouTube side, the Facebook side. Actually, bring your people over to the YouTube side so then they can subscribe. You know what I mean? Get the likes up and keep building the algorithm. But other than that, we still welcome all platforms. So we don't discriminate. And Not Your Average Guy says, I could pluck lights for $50K a year. Okay. Like I said, there's jobs for anybody who would like to do those type of work. But it does require some type of training. Point is, there's no excuses for you to not work. Number 11, a garbage collector. Just say like garbage man, trash man, whatever, right? But garbage collecting is a job that keeps our society running, pays fairly, but in some places can top out at $1,000 and more. Sorry, $100,000 and more. Unfortunately, it also means working with trash every day, and that may turn off potential workers. Currently, Many parts of the U.S. are facing shortages of these workers. So, a urine collector versus a garbage collector, which one would you rather choose? Because honestly, I would rather choose to be a garbage collector anytime than to collect any cow semen, or I'll just put it like that, or pretty much to like collect piss. You know what I mean? Balls of it. So, I mean, I don't think being a garbage collector is not that bad as, we read the previous jobs.
Yeah, I
Now I'm sure.
don't see why.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure Alonzo got somebody in his family that's a garbage collector. Are they unionized?
Depending on where you are, certain because some are city jobs and some are state jobs. So even like that 100,000 number, it can be a lot higher than that, depending on, the municipality you're working for.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, because it's going to be a municipal job, it is generally going to be unionized. Again, you're looking at your larger metro areas, right? I'm a New Yorker, so obviously, our garbage men are making well above 100 grand, right? But they're also out there 6 days a week, and garbage in New York is a 24-hour thing. Right, so they're all like you're always picking up overtime. And now my cat wants to play with the thing in the back. They're always picking up overtime. They're always, busting their tail on holidays and things like that. So there isn't that quite time freedom. But yeah, you can make a boatload of money. And to be honest, a lot of the garbage collectors that I know, ironically enough, some that I do have in my family, they be finding gems, especially in New York City when they go up to like I have a friend who he collects in like the Madison Avenue area or the Fashion Avenue area of Manhattan. So like, Billionaires Row and everything. He'd be like, yo, I'll be finding like they will throw out like beautiful furniture. He found a Tiffany lamp one day because there was a scratch on the on the lampshade, so the multi-billionaire person didn't want it because there was a scratch on the shade. Mind you, it was still in the plastic, so he was like, well, I got me a $2,000 Tiffany lamp for free. So I think it's cool. Maybe it's just not glorified, right? And I'll bring that to towards relationships, especially in today's world, right? That job isn't glorified. But I'll give you a joke from my field, right? Like I worked on Wall Street. Like my offices was 100 Broadway, 39 Broadway, and 11 Broadway, right? So I'm on Wall Street, like 100 Broadway. You walk out, take left. There's the New York Stock Exchange, right? So the joke that we used to have on Wall Street is it's so funny because there are way more millionaires in overalls and construction boots than with Porsches and shiny suits, right? Because for all of the guys that you see on Wall Street that are wearing these $1,000 Brooks Brothers suits, that $1,000 is the most they've made in the last 6 months. Whereas that guy who's the garbage collector is going to make a consistent $1,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think societally, right, more people have been geared to say, I want to look like Alonzo. He's dressed in a suit and tie and driving a fancy Mercedes. And, oh, yeah, I'm broke. That guy who is in that Ford F-150 and is in the dirty jeans with the dirt all over him and his hands are messed up, he's balling, right? But perception is reality.
But there's also a trade-off too. Like I had that. Well, I don't know about 9 to 5 because even when I was working in the airline industry, it was different times of the day that I worked, but I could do double shifts and make a whole bunch of overtime and a lot of money, but I didn't have the energy to do anything else. And I got into the real estate business, and there was times where I work on a deal 30 days and not really 30 days because it's only a couple of hours a day and make like 15,000. And I'd have to work double shifts pretty much every single day to make that much, in 2 months. See, so it's like a trade-off. And I guess it doesn't hurt to keep a steady job where you're making enough to pay your bills and to do things, but it's also a good idea to have something else like a business, something where you ain't always got to be there, where you can, do a deal or a transaction and make a stack of money and put it to the side or invest it. So I think it's just your perspective and how you look at it.
I agree. And especially Carnell, when it comes to like you said, like I work on 100% commission. Like I used to do real estate in the city, with my license and through wholesale. And like you said, there will be months and months where nothing's coming through. And I remember my first deal was an $80,000 deal, right? And then I was like, all right, well, I ain't working for the rest of the year, but how many times do those come through? Not all the time. So it makes life difficult to have that consistency. But what you said makes total sense.
As y'all were talking, I was rethinking this list that we've been going over, and I really find something to be interesting because I think Queen mentioned something about schooling a little earlier. And I'm finding it interesting that of all the time that I spent in high school and all the career days they had where they had a bunch of people come to the school and stand in the auditorium and all that bullshit they did, all the jobs were always either corporate jobs or the military or police. Like, I don't remember ever seeing a garbage collector at career day trying to like, hey kid, here's some information on how you can get this job that's gonna pay you 6 figures. Like that shit just won't happen. It was a bunch of little mediocre entry-level jobs that's paying $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Like the real money-paying jobs, nobody was in a high school trying to give us information and recruit us to do these kind of jobs.
As I got older, man, and learned about the education system, and you hear this a lot on like when you're watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, the system that's going on now, they train people to work for somebody else. They don't want you, like, even, I know we talking about real estate and finances and all that, but that's basic stuff. Like, real estate shouldn't be this prestigious thing like everybody needs a place to stay, right? So why don't they talk about that in high school? Why don't they teach you the process? It's so many things. I'm not a millionaire yet, but one thing I will say, with this type of business, is so many things you learn about basic stuff, even in the city government, even about trust and wills and things like that, doing this business, that I was like, even if I don't make $1 million, the experience that I got and everything that I learned that I can help people with, is worth it. But they don't teach this stuff in school. Like, they don't teach basic finance and things like that. And I'm like, bro, what are they doing? What are they teaching us?
But they used to have those programs in school.
Yeah, home ec.
They would do, or auto mechanic, or different things. But music, whatever it was, dance programs. They had stuff for kids to be able to explore what they wanted to do. I think I just had teachers who would talk to us about stuff, off the cuff about, hey, what'd you do? What do your parents do? What do you want to do? And, my mother definitely believed in getting us out and about. And, I wanted to be in the nursing field, but then I realized I didn't have the stomach for it because my mom worked at a hospital and I was in the hospital with her at her job. Like, I ran that hospital. I would take different things to different floors, go say hi to the doctors because we were all born at that hospital, so they knew us. But then I realized I didn't have the stomach for it. And so she volunteered, and she was like a group leader. There's always kids at my house for some social service field. And I was like, I want to be a social worker. And she was like, okay, well, that's what you want to do, hey, let's go volunteer somewhere so you can figure it out. So I felt like we were always involved in something to figure out what we wanted to do. My younger brother loved to draw. He taught himself how to draw. So they got him into all kind of programs and stuff like that, specialized high schools to focus on his drawing. And that's what he does. He's a great tattoo artist in the East Coast and airbrush and whatever you need. But he was self-taught at the age of 6. He was drawing. So yeah, so I think it's also the parents implementing things for their kids to see their interest in, trying to do their best to provide programs or areas in which they can be, their ideas can be fostered.
So environment is very important.
Yeah, school, environment, and your family. You got a cousin who does this. Your little boy is interested in that. Hey, can you hang out? Can he hang out with you to see what this is about? Sure. You got to do more of that because it's not in the schools anymore, unfortunately. Or you got to pay for the schools for the education. I mean, my great niece who's the veterinarian, she, her mama and her grandfather pays a boatload of money for her and her brother to go to that school. That school ain't free. So that's the problem. A lot of these schools aren't free. So
Yeah.
these kids don't get the same opportunities.
Yeah, and like unless you live in an area, like I had to move to Modesto to get my nephew into a really good school, and they did talk about some of those things. But where I went to high school at, we had one counselor for like 2,000 kids, so it was like I had to kind of bump my head a little bit. And luckily I played sports, and that's the only reason why I got introduced to school, but yeah, it was kind of, I wouldn't say it's by accident, but it was the environments that I got into from playing sports that helped me to go to other directions.
Yeah. And it's also like adding to it, right? Even going back to what Queen was saying, the problem is like, okay, our parents, the reason why like the older folks still have like those what's it called, the jack of all trades type of skills, is because like we have programs pretty much that will be willing, schools that will be willing to train you for free. So if you wasn't good at that type of field, at least you had some type of experience to know what was it like. And then you try to find a certain type of career until you fit in where you can. But by them cutting off the programs and incentivizing, more schooling to like work at, certain jobs to become the employee as opposed to training you to become the employer, we're spending all this money for school without really advancing to it's something about like for us, we think that by us going to school, and I'm not to school down or whatever, or even a trade, by us working for a company, man, we're gonna work until we become rich. But we don't never work our way around certain things and learn from the higher ups to develop your own type of business. And they'll never really like fully like tell you the inside scoop of things, because the whole point is they need employees. Employees help run the companies.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but just for clarity, when you say the higher ups, are you talking about in work, or are you talking about the older people we have in our life?
No, I'm talking about like in work. That's what I call like the higher ups or whatever. Yeah. Otherwise,
I'm sorry. I was listening to you. I just got, because you were talking about the jack of all trades, and then you were talking about the higher ups. That was my fault.
No, you good. Yeah, the jack of all trades, because like our OGs or whatever back then, our parents or grandparents, they work at those type of companies because schooling was available for any type of trade. It was free. Now the struggle is that you have to pay for everything, and you may not even have the money for it or the time. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out what way do you have to work things around and fit into your schedule. What sacrifices that you have to make in order for you to become the most highly successful employee ever, not business person, employee. So yeah, and moving on down to the next one. The next one is the crime scene cleaner. Okay, so television shows might make crime scene investigators look so cool, but in real life, someone has to clean up the scenes where crimes has been taking place. That could include working with bodily fluids, biohazard substance. This job often pays modesty, but some people make very good money doing that. So only a few people make money pretty much clean up the crime scene mess. And but of course TV will make it seem like, oh man, I'm like part of the investigation team and we're gonna solve and figure this out, the Flash and all that stuff. But nobody really talks about, it's pretty much like janitorial work, after someone is getting shot or some accident happens or whatever. Which is why like a lot of them they carry cans of Coca-Cola or bottles of Coca-Cola to pretty much smear that blood away. And Sartre says that's not exactly true. Most older people were self-taught. That could also be it too. But then, yeah, I mean, look, either way, half could be true, half could be wrong. But there's some people that self-taught themselves because they were smart enough to do so. But definitely, there was definitely school that was out there for those people to work, or to get trained without having to spend a lot of money to it. And then the elevator repair. Okay. So elevator repair, let me go ahead and pull that up. Working on or repairing an elevator can be risky, but the elevator repair technicians are in high demand compared to a number of workers in the field. That means you can make $100,000 or more. You know what's funny? I think the reason why most people don't go for those type of jobs, maybe, and this is my theory, they're probably afraid of doing some work underneath the elevator and something malfunctions where the elevator goes down and just crushes you. That's what I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say they scared of heights because maybe you gotta go so high up and you just looking down the empty shaft and it's just like I'm 25 floors up. If I slip and fall, that's the end of things. But
right.
I just looked it up while you were talking. I just looked it up how to become an elevator repairman.
Mm-hmm.
It requires a 4-year. It requires 4-year training with a sponsored union or working company. So something like that. If you tell somebody I got to go to school for 4 years and it's not to become a doctor, they're gonna look at that with their face turned up.
Yeah.
But are they getting paid when they're working though?
Most do, but yeah,
I believe so. If you're in a union,
if you're sponsored by a union,
yeah, because there's a program out here that teaches like electrician, mechanic,
welding, plumbers, and stuff like that.
And it's a free program. But when you're done, I had a few young people go through it. When they were done with the program, 21-year-old was making $35 an hour working for one of the rail systems out here. And this was just an entry level.
And that's at 21. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so he was in the program I worked at, and he was living for free for 2 more years. And he said his goal was to get his, save up his money and get his mother a house and get her out of the area she lived in. So, yeah. And he was doing his thing. So, but it's for all ages. This program, it wasn't just for young people. So yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, because definitely most apprenticeship jobs, especially in the union, I mean, you get paid fairly well while you're in the training course. Even like with electricians, I mean, if you understand like basic math and well, no, not too basic because there are some like advanced levels to it. But once you get to like the skills that's needed and you get your license, then you're pretty much like well off. Now the thing is, some people, once you get your license, you may have to renew it every year or every 4 years, and you may have to take like a statewide test. And for some people, they say like it usually gets harder and harder, but I mean, once you have like the skills set in, like you should be okay. Go ahead to the next one. All right. So number 14. Okay. So 14 says a portable toilet cleaner. Portable toilets are great for a large outdoor events or construction sites, but someone has to clean these toilets on site, as well as transport them to wherever they're needed. It's a dirty job that often pays modestly, but some earn $50,000 or more.
I mean, they've got a point, and like 100 Watts said, the majority of this list is jobs that are hella essential, right? Like, you think about it, how important are those porta potties to like outdoor spaces, right? And especially if there's like a outdoor concert or something, right? Not the Fire Fest, but like a real outdoor concert where like there's a bunch of people there. Well, you don't want everybody just shitting on the side of the road, so.
For my job, I do delivery for my job, and a lot of neighborhoods that I go into, they're like building new houses. Whenever you get into some of these construction areas where they're building neighborhoods, there's porta potties everywhere. Because your construction guys, like, you can't tell them, hey, I'm gonna take a break on putting this roof up. I'm gonna go down the street, go 20 minutes down the road to go to QT to go use the bathroom. Like, nah, you need them porta potties out there. Like, they got to stay functional and operational because everybody got to go to the bathroom at some point. Like, it's all kinds of different reasons why those things could be used. But yeah, to get a job like that, like, man, to that truck, what does that truck smell like, dog?
Straight ass cheek.
But I think they're just, it's different than I think a lot of technology. Like even the garbage men out where I live, they don't touch anything. They pull down these mechanical things, they flip it upside down, and they dump the trash in it. Like, they don't grab or touch anything. They don't even get out to touch the cans. So, it's with technology, certain jobs can not be as bad as what they were or what you think of. It depends on the kind of technology they have in place for those jobs, like recycle. Like they literally don't touch anything. Not like East Coast. Like they get out and literally grab the bags and throw them. But in the West Coast, they don't touch the garbage. They come up, there's these two claws that look like tweezers, and they go scoop it up, squeeze it, and flip it upside down and put it back down. So that's all they do.
Okay.
So, so they're not getting as dirty as someone else. So I think it's also the type of things that's in place for these jobs. Like, I mean, I would never be a porta potty because I just have a weak stomach, but spraying stuff down or, you never know what they got. So that's, yeah.
But you do make a...
Bless you.
Thank you. You do make a good point, Queen, because we are forgetting that even though like these jobs can be like deemed as dirty or strenuous, we have technology that makes it
Mhm.
easy for us.
Mhm.
Like it's not like, okay, well, let me grab my my toothbrush and start scrubbing these toilets down. You know what I mean?
Or some
Let me-
Clorox. You don't need no Clorox wipes. You know,
right.
like Southern Troll said, pressure washer or a
Hose.
hose that you spray it down and you're done. So
And I think I like, okay, maybe if K Marion could Mr. Empty could send like a YouTube link in the chat. I know if I remember correctly, all you need is like probably like a truck or some type of machine, and then it dumps all the waste to some type of bucket or whatever. And where does the hazardous materials like go towards? Hey man, it goes somewhere. To be
Actually, you know what's funny? I seen that today. I was walking by a park near my house, and the guys came up in the truck. They had like some big green hose, and they take it off of the side of the truck, and then they stick it on the porta potty or go in the porta potty, and it just sucks out all the nastiness into the bin in the truck. So, like Queen Forever said, you ain't even really touching nothing. I guess all you gotta do is like hold your breath for the 3 minutes that it takes for you to put the hose in the potty itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I worked at Southwest, when I first started in Oakland, we had a lab position, a laboratory driver position, and usually the OGs would do it because nobody else wanted to do it because they were scared that if they make a mistake, they're gonna get dookie on them. But they would put like you said, they put the hose in there. You pull down the lever, and the suction, or what is it called, the vacuum system in the plane will flush everything out in the toilet. But if you don't put that clamp on, and it happened to me, if you don't put that clamp on, you will get spilled on. Man, it didn't get all over me, but I jumped out the way. But it could have.
You did that Matrix dodge. I feel you.
Everything went in slow motion. But yeah, if you don't do things the right way, yeah, you can be in trouble.
Yeah, she said those aircraft toys are nasty. Yeah.
This kind of gets me back to what I was talking about earlier. Like, just curious as to what makes people quit these jobs, because you don't apply for a job as a porta potty technician and then get surprised when you got to go touch a porta potty. Like, so it's like, what is it about this particular job that made you say, you know what, fuck this, I'm done? Because they're like we were talking about earlier, there are certain jobs where I can just understand somebody quitting. Like a hazmat job, look, bro, I done been burnt too many times. I'm not doing this no more. Well, I guess maybe that answers my question. Maybe you get splashed by doo-doo too many times and be like, I can't do this no more.
But to Cardell's point, if you do what you doing right, you ain't gonna get splashed by the doo-doo.
But you are a human being.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. So like every now and then something's gonna happen.
I think it also can be, like, it's just like if you're a security guard. So I knew someone I knew a few people that were security guards. And so at one point they were in a, pretty cool area, blah, blah, blah. And then the manager started being shady, put them in a ranky-dank neighborhood or certain site, and it was crazy. And they was like, I can't do this no more. So it's also about, it could be, not that they got tired of it. Maybe they got put in a certain situation where they felt like, I'm tired of dealing with this atmosphere. I don't know, in the worst areas where a porta potty could possibly be. I don't know. Maybe someone threw a grenade or an M80 in the toilet and left, and I don't know, but or they got locked in one too many times by their coworkers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like probably at the moment they just like, okay, this is like what I could do to get by. So it's like the expectations versus the reality, and that just like in relationships, that goes for like jobs as well too. you have an expectation of something, or maybe doing well, or maybe it not being so shitty, you know, and it just turns out it doesn't turn out the way how you hoped. So I feel like that's one of the ways why people like they kind of move forward and move on to like different jobs.
You know what? 100 watts to speak to what you were saying. Also, part of what M3 was saying, it's about expectation, right? So, like, for example, when I interviewed to hire people, right, I asked two major questions. I asked, number one, as an employer, what can I expect of you as my employee? Right? And then people are, they give me the canned answer, oh, I can be a great employee, da 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 da, and I'm a team member. And then I generally blow their mind because I say, now, as an employer, what do you expect from me? Or as an employee, what do you expect from me as an employer? And oftentimes what happens is, some people will go for these jobs expecting something from their employer. And like Queen Forever said, oh, well, this manager is a tightwad, and, I got the job done 2 hours early, but he's, well, if there's time for leaning, there's time for cleaning. Well, ain't nothing that needs cleaning, sir. You know what I mean? So maybe your expectations weren't set from the employer.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think too, it depends on your mindset. I think a lot of people they tie their identity to what they do. I know for me personally, I got caught up in that, but I try to get away from it because anything can be taken away from you, a job, a position, whatever. But I think sometimes people are ashamed of what they do and not who they, and they're not thinking about who they are. It's not what you do, it's who you are. So I think a lot of people are look at like being a garbage man or something, look down on it because that's the way society treats that position. But it's an important position, and that's why they make good money in big cities.
Mm-hmm.
Only stupid
So what
people
Alonzo
look
was
down on
saying.
people working hard.
What was that?
I said only stupid people look down on people working hard. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do as a means to get by. Like I looked at several jobs, and I, sometimes I go, when I look at the job description, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want that part. Okay, I'm cool with that. And then I get it, and I'm like, this not what I signed up for. So I have a conversation. Hey, is there any other place I can transfer to? Because I like the company, I like what I do, but that part of it, I ain't down for it. So if it's not another space I can transfer, I usually move on and go somewhere else. So, sometimes people just take these jobs because they need a job, So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But thank you, porta potties. Thank you, veterinarians. Thank you, dishwasher. Thank you, line cooks. Thank you, sous chefs. Thank you. Thank you, drive-thrus, although I don't go to fast food no more. Thank you. Because without you, this world would not function. So, yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay.
That's why I believe in tipping anywhere I can go, because I want to say thank you. Thank you.
And speaking of tipping, right? If anybody feels free to tip, come on, where's the tip thing at? If anybody feels free to tip, definitely feel free to. See, I was hoping it was going to pop up, but for some reason, oh, there it goes. Anybody feels like tipping, feel free to tip. Knowledge relationships. On the Cash App. PayPal, Venmo. Okay, the list goes on. If you want to help a brother out, please feel free to tip. And help Queen to rightfully get her reparations. So, still pending,
right,
still waiting for. Hey, YouTube was holding out. I don't know what is going on, but it's something. We still got to review your videos and all that. Look, I know we got a lot of videos, YouTube, but come on now. I got bills I got to pay and people I got to owe. Anyways, help us with the Cash Apps, PayPals, and Venmos. Okay. And let's see. Let's get the likes up. Yeah, definitely get the likes up. Dishwashing is not that bad. Of course, it's not that bad. We do it every day, pretty much.
Look, I worked at a coffee shop. I'm not gonna say several of them throughout college, and my tips were glorious. So I did not make in your frappuccino, your latte, your espresso shot, your chai tea, whatever you needed, because my tips was beautiful.
Hmm. Right.
You know what's funny though? Like I could see also people in certain positions taking certain jobs, right? So like for example, me and Carnell are both in self-employed positions, right? As him being a realtor and me being a financial advisor, right? So we basically we eat what we kill, right? So like that's why when I go back to the neighborhoods, say again, Carnell.
No, that was funny analogy. We eat, we kill. That's funny.
Oh yeah, no, it's true though, right? Because so like what I like to do is I like to go back to the neighborhoods, and tell the young brothers who are quote unquote selling dope, hey, I do the same thing as you, bro. I do what I want, when I want, where I want, how I want, with who I want. And I don't make money unless my pack moves. But when my pack moves, I don't have to worry about going to jail. Uh, so I think both are those fields are very lucrative. But like I'm also looking because even though I can pull out like the last year I did 115, but it being all commission, I'm nowhere near that coming at the end of this year, right? So like I'm almost $100,000 less than what I made last year just because I ain't found enough clients. So people like in those positions, like I'd gladly go get a job being a janitor, right? So I ain't got to deal with people. I'll clean the dirtiness. I'll stay out the way. And then when it comes time, I'll turn around and sell you your 401k and make $20,000, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's exactly what you say. Like I don't have no problem where I've had odd jobs. I barbecue. I do catering. I always keep the bag flowing. Because this is not a predictable industry, as you can see. What's happening now. But I wasn't, naive to the fact that that could happen again because I remember 2008. But the thing is, I'm always striving because it's kind of like you hitting that rock and you trying to you trying to bust that thing open. So it's like every day you on the grind. But no, I'm I don't have no shame in my game. I do whatever I need to do to pay the bills. But it's just that what do you want to do? What's your
Yeah.
goal in life? That's the biggest thing. And like I talked to my nephew who I just sent to the military. He didn't really show any interest in school the last 2 years. He wasn't trying to do anything. He didn't want to work. So I was like, hey man, what do you want to do? Because I can see you hanging around the house all the time, going out, getting into stuff. I was like, it's only a couple things that can happen. So since you don't know what you want to do, how about you consider the military? And because that's what he wanted to do, I pushed him to do it. And he, I guided him. Of course, I didn't let him just go out there and be on the infantry. I helped him with his studies so he can get a desk job or whatever. But it's like, if you don't know what you want to do, then of course you go to whatever job you need to go. You make your living. But I think that everybody should have something to strive for, like whatever. It don't matter what it is. It could be making video games, learning how to build houses, whatever you want to do in life, but don't just be working for a job. Like have your goals separate from your job and take time to work on those. Because that's what I did when I was working. I took a couple hours a day to study and do what I needed to do to get up out of there.
Hmm.
Well, I always tell people when I've had people approach me and say, "Oh, I think I want to be in the social service field or do this and do that," because that's what I am. I'm a social worker. I always tell them volunteer. Volunteer, try to volunteer in the field that you're interested in as a younger person or someone who's switching careers and figure out if this is what you want because it's not my field is not for the faint at heart. It's not. It's you gotta be a little strong and be a little assertive sometimes. So I always tell people to volunteer or try to um, be around someone. Yeah, volunteering is the best way to experience it if you can. You know.
I heavily agree to that. Or even like get into like a internship too.
Yep. I
That
had an
that's it.
internship. Yep. My job, my field, I had to go to school. I didn't want to, but it was something I had to, but it's something I knew I wanted to do. Like I didn't believe in wasting 4 years of education and student loans to be in a field that I will wake up and go, I hate that field. I knew I wanted to be a social worker, and the only way to be one is to get my education. So, yeah.
Right.
So,
Real quick, I'm gonna cut to like a commercial break, so that way people who are tuning in, if you guys need some help to learn how to hit the subscribe button, get the likes up, and also hit the notification bell, we have a clip for that. And welcome back. Hopefully you enjoy like our short little intermission. Now, let me be clear on this one, right? Okay, you talking about feet stink, right? But selling feet is more lucrative than selling booty now these days. I'm telling you. There's a lot of people from the OnlyFans that will definitely cash out top dollar, okay, for a picture of your feet. Now, I'm not surprised if they could know the differentiation if a guy's selling his feet or if a woman's selling her feet. But no matter what, even if you have the corners and the crevices between the toes, right? I think selling feet is more lucrative than booty anytime. Feet stink, but booty stinks as well too. Don't commercial.
Ladies, if you have man feet, don't try and sell them pictures.
Hold on, Roger. Watch like, oh, we can't knock like the man feet. I'm telling you, people will pay for those man feet.
Never. I'm cool. We ain't even about to start talking about people and they weird ass kinks. I'm cool. No, but what I was just
turned into the fetish show right quick.
No, but what I heard y'all just talking about, it reminds me of something that a mentor used to tell me when I was younger. He used to tell me like you have to make sure that you take opportunities that aren't attached to a paycheck, because there are things that are going to come your way. Sometimes you're going to meet people that are going to ask you to do a favor for them, or they're going to give you an opportunity to sit in a room with some other people, or sometimes opportunities come that's not going to pay you, but what comes later on is even better. Like y'all were just talking about volunteering and internships. You do an internship at the right place, you do it well enough, you do it long enough, they'll fuck around and offer you a full-time job. So just making sure you see opportunities that aren't attached to paychecks, because only focusing on money can get you fucked up out here in this game.
Yeah, you want to do something. Yeah, you want to do something at least that you can see yourself like just doing it for like the next like 5 to 10 years. Something that you're really into and it's not like grueling, like go for it. But not all money is good money, as they say. Unless if you take all the bad money or whatever and invest in the stocks or whatever or some type of investment, then yeah. And yeah, Cornell, yep, all money ain't good money, likewise. Before we get to number 15, there was something I did post it up earlier. Shout outs to Cornell for sending me this link. But this is the cash flow quantum. Okay. So up here to the up left, right, you'll see E for the employee. Hold on, let me zoom in so I can see it better. So it's E for the employee. The amount of active work determines income. So time equals money. This is where I feel like most of us are really at. Now, the business owner, the B, right? Income does not depend on active work. Employees equals. No, actually, hold on. I'm sorry. I think I'm reading this like the wrong way. I think it's down, not like from left to right. Let me go down real quick. Self-employed. The
They go
amount of
sorry. I think it's ESBI.
yeah, ESBI. Yeah. Okay. The other one is hold on, let me zoom out real quick. I can't see the one on the bottom, so hold on real quick. How do I fix that? Let me
It's employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. I'm very familiar with the cash flow quadrant.
right.
Rich Dad
Okay,
Poor
I can
Dad.
see it. Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman that was speaking earlier, he was basically talking about the same, just when you're working, not just working for money, every time you go do something expecting the money, because there are things, I mean, I don't know who else is believers out here, but even the Bible talk about wisdom. There are things that's worth more than money if you look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like it's not always, like I said, it's not always about just money, but like, okay, what type of career or what type of business that you have that can actually do something that can actually impact on people's lives. That's what people really go after. They go after like, these companies that could benefit for them. If you have some type of value that could value for other people, that's where the true success lies into it, you know? But the byproduct is that, if you move up to any of these quadrants, you know what I mean? Besides just being the usual employee, I mean, you could actually enjoy life while having other people make the money for you, which we go up back to like business owner income is not dependent on active work. Employees equals money. And then the investor part is income does not depend, again, on active work, but money generates more money. So as some people say, the more money you have, like, the more money you will earn. But it depends on how well do you invest your money into it, which if you think about this though, I'm a firm believer of like stocks or some type of investment. Although if you have a business, a functional business where you have people that's working for you, that's even better. If you could get to like the B and the I feel like that's where you're really head towards true financial freedom. Because what our goal, what I feel like the American dream is, we want to deep down inside have money like just fall to our lap, but we have to understand that we have to, graduate from the E to the S. Whether you're self-employed or you're just an employer. I'm not employer, but employee. We have to move from those two quadrants in order for us to advance into the the B and the I. So hey, learn how to do whatever it takes to make money work for you. If investment works, but like I said, we all have to start somewhere. So I wish that back then, like as a kid, I wish I learned about the stocks, the stock market, and actually, I had an opportunity. Like when I was in high school, it was a black African American teacher that was telling us about stocks, and he's just like a math teacher, but he knew about Apple, he knew about all these other companies that we didn't really know about. And of course, if rumor wasn't really taught and wasn't ingrained, we just disregard it. Like, oh, I don't know what that is, and there was like no apps back then that made it easier for us. So how we know to like invest? But that's how like the rich become richer because through generations they was taught about all these things. And I feel like for most of us, unfortunately, African Americans, we are now playing catch up.
Hey Mario, you
Mm-hmm.
know what you're doing right now, and one of the most important things I don't think you mentioned, but it's obvious, it's relationships, man. Like you, no matter what you do, relationships is gonna get you to that next level. So like what we doing right now, we talking, we having a conversation. People listening, people putting their 2 cents in based on their experiences or whatever. But this is relationship. So like even in investing, being self-employed, most of the time people don't just go and jump into something without at least knowing somebody that does
Mm-hmm.
it, because
Yeah.
it's like you can jump into it, but you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes that you wouldn't have made if you would have had somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. So it's the relationships, like learning about what people do, or like you say, the guy that you know that's the truck driver. Like we wouldn't know how that is unless we did it ourselves or we asked somebody that we know that do it. So I mean, even in my career, a lot of the jobs that I got, I felt like I was qualified for, but I wouldn't have been able to get in the door for some of them if it wasn't for who I knew,
Mm-hmm.
because this wasn't giving people opportunities. So relationships are very important. And I think with us, with our people, we got to get back to that sense of community and relationships, like bouncing ideas off of each other, encouraging each other to kind of take a chance in some ways. But yeah, relationship is very important.
You know what, Cornell? I'm glad that you brought that up because I mean, this channel is knowledge and relationships. You can't get the knowledge without building like certain relationships and learn from other people. So I'm glad that you did point that part out because you know a lot of times it's not about how much do you know, but it's about who do you know and who can kind of help mentor you for that brief moment to get that acquired skill and open a door for you. So yeah, definitely it is about relationships because relationships is definitely the key point to really get to where you need to be. I'll say this one little example before I get to like the last one. I did have an opportunity to become like a what they call it, a garbage collector. Let's just say garbage collector, right? And this guy, like, he actually told me, yo, if you do look for a job or if you're looking for one, just let them know that, hey, like, I sent you over there. Now, unfortunately, like, I couldn't really, take any days off to go there. Not that I was even really looking for one, but it's good to kind of know like the options is still around. You know what I mean? And if I did pursue that, I for sure I would have got the job in because one, I do have qualifications as a CDL driver, but then two, I mean, it just that once you put in like like the name of someone that works for that company and he vouches, like that's a big plus. They're like, okay, well if he works in this company for like 10 plus years, he know this person. He's saying like he give us the okay. Most likely 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be willing to hire you. They look for people who they can really trust and will be in it for the long haul. But I like doing what I'm doing for the time being. So, um, hey, I'm not gonna knock the job that I work for right now. So cool. Um, Let me get to the last one. Okay, last one. If I could pull this up, will be number 15. Now, number 15 is basically just being a plumber. Let me turn the music up, and we'll play that. All right. So number 15 is plumbing. All right. So being a plumber, like other trades, I really a lot of cars. They also can receive benefits or get distribution to help with insurance. Plumbers might also have to deal with dirty and unsanitary conditions, and while they make extra cash working overtime for emergencies, it could also mean being on call at odd times or during the holidays. I don't think a lot of people would probably have a problem with that. Um, I think it's just like knowing what to do. You know what I mean? I think just get that initial thought out there because there's different pipes, there's different things that you have to try to problem solve in order to get the water flowing and running correctly. And if you don't know what you're doing, yeah, you're in big trouble on that part. Plus, you may have to go under the house. You may have to do other things too that you're not really familiar with. So that could probably be a complicated type of job, but with the training, you should be okay.
Hey, those guys make a lot of money just to do a plumbing inspection, which takes them about maybe 45 minutes or an hour, depending on how big the house is. Here, it's just about $400 normally just to get a plumbing inspection.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like I said, overall, right? There's a lot of jobs that's out there that people could like really tackle, but are you willing to put in some time and effort to put the work into it to get in those type of fields? And even if that may not be like your ideal type of job, but initially, but you never know where that job will kind of take you. Especially,
I don't mind doing list number 14 now. I was just on silent because my little 3-month-old kitten just shitted all over the place in his litter box and stepped in it and is walking all over my apartment. So I literally just had to clean a porta potty, and now I'm sitting here washing the damn doo-doo off the cat's feet. That's funny.
Yo, that might be your new color, Alonzo. You feel me?
And I could do it like a veterinarian, right?
Exactly. Hey, see, you learn like a lot, man, from tonight's conversation. See, this stuff that we just do. We look at like it's like such a bad thing, or it's going to be a terrible, dirty type of job. But I mean, look, man, if you have to like, I'm going to say it like this: if you have to take a dookie, bro, and you just like, had one of those bad days, and then you just like crapped all over the toilet ring and all that, you're gonna have to clean that up. If you have a pet like your cat that's just like scratched all over the place, you got to kind of like calm that cat down, and maybe you might have to take a couple of scratches into it. So if you clog up the toilets or whatever or sink, and there's no plumber in sight, man, you better grab that plunger or do something to it. You're gonna have to be the plumber for the day. So yeah. It's just certain things that we do already. We just don't know that we have the potential of going further if we just take the time to educate ourselves or take these type of traits that will probably educate for us and pay us as well too. Just another skeptic. Yo, salutes to my brother. Thank you for tuning in to Dr. Rachel from the Twitch side. He says that seems to be the issue with younger men these days. By the way, no, it's not by the way, to be honest. We can't keep our apprentice. We can't keep our parents. They don't want all the money. I'm reading wrong. We can't keep a apprentice. They want all the money with no experience. That's true. And then she's like, oh no. And then Sean Troll says like, he's scared that whoop out of me. Yep. Lysol to the rescue. And then just another skeptic says, yeah, man, glad to be here. Hey, glad to see you as well too, bro. So thank you for tuning in. So major salute. Sorry, Rachel, comment wrong earlier, but yeah, we're actually down to pretty much the last part, and number 15 was pretty much like the plumbers, which, like I said, it's not a bad gig. I don't look at it like it's bad. It's just you're just dealing with a lot of pipes. You will be going underneath the house, and I mean, shoot, you might have to break a couple of walls too, though. You never know. Like just being like a plumber and just working through, making sure the water is flowing nice and running well. Like those are like the type of jobs type of skills that you're gonna have to learn in order for you to advance. But they pay very well. These are like maybe high strenuous, but yet high rewarding as far as the top paid type of jobs. But people, they're focused on, working like behind the computer desk. I'm not knocking that down. Everybody wants something that's easy, but at the same time, it's like sometimes like, you have to try to work your way in order for you to get into a level of comfortability. But anyways, the bottom line is, okay, let me go ahead down here. Working at a job simply to make money is not always easy. Even high-paying roles have aspects that some workers prefer to avoid, regardless of how much money the position pays. Fortunately, there are other ways to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Instead of taking a job purely for money, develop new sources of additional income, such as a part-time job or a side hustle. All right. And then Phil streaming again. Hello there. Shout outs to you. Thank you for tuning in on the Twitch side as well. Real quick, everybody from the Twitch area, if you have a YouTube channel, please subscribe to Knowledge Relationships on YouTube. We are on the road to try to get to 2,000 subscribers. Even though that's a short-term goal, our long-term is to go infinity and beyond. So please, if you do have a YouTube account, feel free to log into your YouTube and subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships because we're just trying to get up there. But other than that, great to see you guys on the Twitch side. And Cornell, I just want to say thank you for tuning in to our channel for the first time. This was definitely wonderful to have you, Alonzo, 100 Watts, Queen, and also good to see the Intellectual SoapBox for a brief moment too, to dab into this conversation. I feel like it was definitely important to have like these type of topics.
Yep, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation. That was cool. I stumbled on it and it was good.
All right, appreciate that. All right. Let me see. Okay. All right, so everybody. So at this point, and Sir Troll, thank you so much. Salutes to you. She says good show. Yeah, man. Definitely. Like I said, I always try to like mix up. Like every now and then, like it's good to have relationship topics, but at the same time, let's have something that we can also learn from besides the usual like male and female type of drama. But with that being said, I will wrap it up for tonight's stream. It was definitely fun. We're already like at 2 hours and 40 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest. But likewise again, thank you guys for tuning in to Knowledge and Relationships. Is there anything you guys want to say before I close out?
You know my thing, man. When people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right, Cornell, you have any last words before I close out?
Oh no, I just want to encourage everybody to keep striving, man. And I know times get hard for a lot of people, but keep pushing. If you guys want to know anything about the real estate business, hit me up. I'll leave my number in the chat.
Yeah, you know what? Also Cornell too. We could also have maybe like a live talk, which is like a personalized interview where we can have like our 1v1 conversations. And what you could do is you could teach everybody about the real estate game, the pros and the cons to it. So I would love to have you on the platform one of these times, and then we could try to work something out.
Okay, we'll talk on the side and we'll work something out.
All right, for sure, man. All right, man. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Knowledge and Relationships. It was definitely fun having everybody around, for support. But anyways, guys, I am about to log on out. So everybody definitely have a good night. Oh, I'm trying to close this out right. So everybody definitely have a good night. Peace out, everybody, and laters. Oh, hold on, there's something else. Okay. Law says, salute, folks. Salutes to you. And just another skeptic, thank you for tuning in. So salutes to you as well. So we will see you guys next time. And let me go ahead and play this outro. Hold on. Let me look at the numbers real quick. So, real quick, almost forgot. Let me pull this up. Don't go anywhere yet. Do me a favor, okay, everybody? So on the YouTube side, because it's definitely important to build the algorithm system up. So please make sure you give us your feedback after the show on YouTube. Leave a comment or an emoji to help build the algorithm for YouTube. It's actually working. The more comments that we have after when the live stream is over. So, like I said, the same way how you guys are commenting during the live stream, if you guys do the same thing, right? Guys and ladies, if you guys do the same thing, okay, make sure you just put like a comment or emoji or something or a thumbs up. Do something like that on the YouTube side under like the chat once I close the stream out. Once the stream is closed, maybe refresh or whatever, so that way you can place a comment. But when you comment, it brings more attention to the algorithm. And so the more people are chatting up, the more people are saying something about like, about the live stream, the better it will be. So even the people like on Twitch, if you do have a YouTube, just feel free to like just place a comment, just say great stream or bad stream, however you want to call it. Just say whatever, or just put an emoji if you don't want to say any words. But definitely type in something because that will boost the algorithm up once again for YouTube, and then it will bring attention to new subscribers. And here's the thing: when that brings attention to the new people, it also like forget about the subscribers part. Well, let's try to spread it around so we can help educate other people into this. Okay, so all the stuff that we're talking about, the jobs thing, definitely, please do so. K-Man says, please comment in the replays again and share the link to get more folks to like, comment, and subscribe and share. And just enough skeptic, thank you for tuning in on the YouTube side. Got you, dude. For sure, man. Much appreciated. So again, man, please definitely help a brother out because it really helps me out, helps the team out as well. So thank you so much. And now we are officially out. So let me go ahead and play the outro. I'm starting to see there's more people tuning in as I'm about to close out, but hopefully everybody got the message. Oh, dang, more people are coming in. Greetings, peace, joy, and many blessings. Sorry I missed the show. Bowl TV, salutes to M3. Hey, salutes to you, Bowl TV. Vouaghn Bryant, salutes to you as well. Yeah, man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm about to you already caught me where I'm about to close out, but you guys can still make a difference. Vouaghn Bryant, Bowl TV. If you guys can, please comment in the replays after I close the show. Share the link to get more folks to comment and subscribe and share. So please definitely do that. K-Man says share with anyone who needs a career path. Good night, good vibes. Catch the replay. So this is very important because we want to make sure we educate people, notify all excuses of not having like any jobs around. There's plenty of jobs, as we already talked about. But definitely, he says we'll watch the replay. Definitely for sure, Vouaghn Bryant, watch the replay. But also please leave a comment during the replay. Please comment after the live replays. Yes. So after when the live is over, please everybody again place a comment. So I'm about to go ahead and close out. But just remember, everybody make sure you guys comment because it helps boost up the algorithm. And share the videos to your social media. So thank you so much, everybody. Later. We are now out. Peace.
knowledge and relationships.